Hello everyone, so this is Great White Northerner. This is my second attempt at a coin roll hunt. I have a box of dimes here today. We did quarters the other day. Didn't have any success with silver, but we certainly got close. We got some 68s, but nothing that was actually silver. Did pull out some variations and a couple things that I didn't have. This one here, I don't have a whole lot of hopes for, to be honest, but we'll see how this goes. What we're obviously aiming for is more silver. There are silver coins in the dimes in Canada. They start at, before 1967, they were 80% silver, and then in 67 and part of 68 they were 50% silver, and then halfway through 68 they switched to a pure nickel variant. So we'll be watching for those 67s, 68s, and anything before that. Also, we're going to look for some of the lower mintage years. I'll go through those if we find them. And what we're having to deal with here in Canada is this alloy reclamation program. So the Canadian Mint is actively pulling older coins out of all of the coins in circulation right now, and so it's making it very challenging to see if we can find some of the older coins. What we are trying, or what I'm trying to do here, is to find a box that has been customer wrapped rolls. So we run the risk of maybe getting somebody else's searched coin dump. I'm hoping that won't be the case. I don't know how many people in my area are actively doing that, but that is obviously the chance we take by taking a customer rolled. But unlike in the States, machine rolled ones are pretty much going to be guaranteed to be 2001 and above because of this alloy reclamation program. So I have opened this box. I opened it at the branch just to make sure that it was customer wrapped, and it looks like it is. It looks like there's a couple machine wrapped rolls in here, but for the most part they are all customer wrapped rolls. So we shall definitely go through these and see what we can come up with, and I'll come back to you when I find something. We'll start with the first roll, and when I find something I will bring you back in. So enjoy the hunt. Talk to you soon. So I noticed as I pulled the first roll out, I think it was actually this one here that I pulled out, that there's a whole bunch of these that are in these plastic wrapped coin holders, so they're see-through, so of course we can kind of see what's in there. Nothing has jumped out at me as being silver yet. Hopefully that can focus on there. But what you can see is, so right there in the middle is of course a US coin. Those clad kind of multicolored coins stand out very quickly. So there are a bunch of them. I'm not going to pull them all out unless I get an older one or something really interesting in those. There's another one you can kind of see there. So they're all through. There's quite a few US coins in this, so I will definitely be pulling those out. I'll use them when we go down to the States, and you can see there's several in here. I don't see anything that looks particularly silver. We do have additional challenge in Canada here that our coins are this zinc coated or nickel coated solid coin, so we don't have that cladding that you see on the US coins, like as far as right. See if I can get that to focus there, but you can see it right there, that clad coin. So those are, when you've got a whole roll of those and you've got a silver coin in the midst of them, it's pretty easy to pick them out. Little harder here. There's some kind of a couple up there that look like they're a little different than the rest, but they could just be newer coins. So I will go through. This one has quite a few clad coins in it, and as I said, I don't see anything that specifically has that more kind of dull silvery color to it. But anyway, I will go through each of these, and I will come back if I find anything interesting. Alright, so I'll just bring you in for my first find here. This is actually the first roll still, and I have a 1969 Canadian dime here. This is a dime that has a couple different, one major variant, which is the large date version. This is, unfortunately, it is extremely rare, and this is the small date version. There is a difference in the way the 69 looks, or 969 looks. And I'll show you just on the screen here in a second, and so you can kind of see the difference. Still a low mintage coin, so I'm going to pull it out anyway, and they're going to be difficult to find, and more difficult to find as they continue to pull these coins out of circulation. It's about 54 million that were originally produced as far as the mintage goes, and then of course there's a very few that are the large date version. So I'm just going to pull back here, and you can kind of see on the screen, if we come up here, so that's the valuation for the large date according to coinsandcanada.com. So definitely it's super rare, but if you find one, it would be awesome. So the other thing I was just going to show you, this is the picture. So this is the small date, and this is the large date, and you can kind of see how that 9 looks completely different from the other version here, which is the small date, which I will pull back here, and you can kind of see the way the 69 looks on that. So there's a big difference, and it's definitely worth looking for, because there's certainly a tremendous amount of value in there. About halfway through, I'm going to continue going through the rest. I'll pull that one out. I do have a couple US coins over here. One is a 2017p, if we can get some focus on this. It's not going to cooperate. So a 2017p and a 2005d US coin. So set those aside as well. Alright, so I thought I'd bring you back in again here. We're still on the first roll. This is actually another variant possibility. It is a 1980. This is the wide O variant, which is the way more common version of it. But there is a narrow O version that is quite rare, and is definitely worth collecting. So one of the things that you can kind of look for to see the difference is in the 8. The 8 on the wide O, the holes in each of the upper and lower part of the 8 are the same size. In a narrow O, that 8 is actually wider on the bottom, or bigger on the bottom, with a smaller circle on the top for the top of the 8. So it is an easy way to tell them apart. This one is not the narrow O, so it is the more common variant of it. But I will probably pull it out just for interest's sake as well, and just because it's a little bit older coin. The other thing that I found here is this 1999. Again, there are variants in this particular 1999 and 2000 where they switch the composition from nickel to steel, like a copper and nickel zinc plated steel platelet. And so there are some variants of these where there is a P mint mark. This one does not have the P on the back. The P would be here, right underneath the Queen's head, and of course it's not there. One of the things to be aware of if you are a American coin collector is the mint marks. There are only 2 mints, one in Winnipeg and one in Ottawa in Canada, and they do not mark their coins as to where they came from. The P marking is basically that it's a plated steel, so that's what that P stands for. There's also a W, and that typically is ones that are coming from uncirculated sets, where they'll have a W mint mark on them. But they do not designate, like a P down in the States would be for, now it's Philadelphia, for the mint in Philadelphia. So, but anyway, I can just bring this up here, and you'll be able to see just on the screen here what I was talking about as far as the narrow O versus the wide O. So you can see the difference in the 8 there, which is quite noticeable, and is a good way to pick up which one is which. So, alright, well, I think I'm almost done this roll, so that's probably going to be the last time on this roll. And if I and actually, sorry, this was the second roll now that I think of it. We have moved on to the second roll at this point. So, alright, great. I will be back if I... Alright, so we're just coming back in here for, again, we're on roll 3 here. I just, instead of pulling them out individually, I just set aside the ones that I thought were of interest. So we have a bunch of lower mintage dimes here, starting with 1971. It's not in the greatest of shape. A 1982, and a 96, and a 97. These are all lower mintages. They, you know, all under 100 million, and most of them in the 40 to 50 million mintage. So way below what you're used to down in the States, but not particularly out of the norm for the Canadian ones, but definitely the lower mintage, so I'm grabbing those. The 71 is of some interest to me just because it was one I actually didn't have. It's unfortunate that it's in such bad shape, but I'll throw it in as a placeholder for now. I did set aside a 99 and a 2000. I checked them both. Neither one of them are P variants, so they are not. The 99s and 2000, I think there was only about 20,000 of them made. Of the P variant as they switched over to steel in those years. The other ones are nickel, and something like 200 million produced of the rest of them. So again, nothing too exciting there. And then of course we have a 5 cent or 5 pence shilling, or looks like European coin, so I'll pull that one out as well, non-Canadian coin, and add that just to the pile over here. Alright, on to the next one. The rest are done. There wasn't anything else of interest in there. I won't go through all of them, but I just wanted to kind of point out some of the lower mintage ones to be looking for. Alright, roll 4, and I did manage to pull a couple out here. One is a 1991, which is just another low mintage. It's 50 million or so that were minted, and again, I'm sure if you are a regular collector this may not be terribly interesting to you, because they're not particularly valuable coins, these low mintage coins at this point, but I do think that there's a possibility that with all of the lower mintage stuff, or lower earlier date coins being taken out of circulation, there is a possibility that some decent quality versions of these might be become more valuable and over time. So I'm going to pull them out for now. It's not a big deal. I'll set them aside, and then beside it here is a 1968. So this is the one where part of the year was silver and part of the year was nickel. So I have not tested it yet. It doesn't really look like a silver coin. It looks nickel, but I will run a magnet over it, and let's just see here if it sticks, and it's nickel. So unfortunate, but we will move on, and hopefully we find some silver yet. Alright, on to the next roll. Oh, I'm sorry, we did actually find some US coins here as well. These are mostly new. There is an older 1976, I believe it was. My eyesight's so bad, I use my loupe on most of these right now. So anyway, there are a few of them. Most of them are very, they're all Roosevelts, they're all newer coins. So. Alright, on to the next. Alright, so we are on roll 15 of this box. I got a whole collection of plastic wrappers over there, and so this guy here is another 1968, which is the year that they only had silver, or they had silver coins produced for half the year, and then they switched over to nickel. So I haven't checked it. I'll bring in the magnet. Let's see if it's actually silver or not. It doesn't look silver, so my guess is, oh, yeah, I collected them all. Okay, so that's not a silver coin. There was one here. I thought it was silver as well, actually, but it's actually a 2009. That is just a very weird coloration there. So get my fingers out of the way and let the light in. Anyway. Yeah, so no silver. On to the next. So I just thought I would bring this up. I am on roll 21, I believe it is. I'll take a look in a sec here. And so I've been opening up some of the paper wrapped. So some of these rolls that are wrapped in just regular generic paper, and they seem quite obviously to have very little in the way of older coins. Not to say they don't have any, but the ones that are there are poor shape. And no US coins in any of the ones that I've opened that were in these kind of paper wrapped ones. So, and I was thinking as I was going through them that it seemed kind of like these ones might be ones that have been coin roll searched, or been searched previously and then re-rolled and sent back to the bank. And it was interesting because then I flipped over to one of these style of wrapped coins, and immediately again I got a whole bunch of US coins. If nothing else, you can see there's all the clad coins in there. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 or 8 that are kind of in amongst all these. So yeah, I think that's something to watch for, is if you see somebody who is wrapping their coins in just regular paper, it's probably a coin roll hunter or trying to cheap out on getting them back to the bank. So something to watch for. Well, just to blow my theory, here's the very next roll that I pulled out that was actually a paper wrapped roll, and you can see that there is actually a clad US dime in here, so maybe I'm wrong, or maybe they just missed it. But yeah, we've got another Roosevelt here. Oops, it is 1981D by the looks of it. So there you go. The other ones that were in the other were all very recent US coins, so nothing of any value. So I'll keep going through these and come back and if I found something useful. Welcome back, everybody. We are on the 47th roll. We're almost done this box. There has not been much success here at all. So the last, I don't know, 20 or so rolls I have not pulled you guys in. I actually have had to take a bit of a break in the middle of all this. See if I can get this to focus. I had something coming up and I had to take a bit of a break. So to kind of reset to finish up the video here. And actually this is the first roll I opened since the break. And I found this one here, which is kind of an interesting coin. Again, not worth a tremendous amount, but when you start considering about that alloy reallocation or recovery program, this particular dime is a 1970 dime, if I can get it to focus. There you go. Again, it's in a little bit rougher shape, but I actually don't have this coin, so it'll go into my collection for now. But it is actually a very low mintage. It is 5,249,000 of these that were minted, so a little harder to find to begin with. And now we're with the alloy reclamation program. It is quite likely going to be a little more rare in the future. So I'm definitely pulling it out, and I thought I'd bring you in for that. I just started the roll, haven't had much in here. I did check it for silver, didn't see anything jump out at me. There's no clad coins as well. I did roll up all of the lower mintage coins that I found so far, and same thing with the US coins. So I'll pull you back at the end of the video so we can kind of take a quick look at what I did find here. Anyway, on to the next few rolls here, and I'll pull you back in if I find something else. Alright, so we are back with the wrap up here. We're done, box is empty. I've laid out all the coins that I pulled out just so you can kind of see what I did find, because I know I didn't pull you in on a lot of these finds just because they're really not of any tremendous value. Of course, the US coins are all Roosevelts. There's nothing new. I think the oldest one was a 1977. So again, just no value there. What did I get? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 40 of those American dimes. I'll set those aside for when I go down to the States sometime. The dimes that I pulled out that are lower mintage, so I've laid them all out here. So there's a row of 1997s. See if I can get this to focus properly. 1997s, 1996s. I believe that's 1991. What else we have in here? So there's 1990, 1982, the 1976, 72, 71, 1970, and the 1969. So they all have a lower mintage run. That 1970 is probably the only one that has actually any real value at this stage of the game. It is a, the book says about 30 cents in an EF40, which, you know, that might certainly qualify for. It's got a little bit of gloss on it. Seems to be in fairly decent shape for 1970. So, and with that $5 million mint run, it's going to be a little more rare, and I think it'll just get more and more rare as they continue to pull these older coins out of circulation. So I'm happy with that find. It actually allowed me to fill in a couple holes, the 70 and the 71s. I didn't actually have any of those, and that pretty much completes my set, other than just to improve them in quality as we go along. So again, not too terribly exciting, no silver unfortunately, but this is only my first box, so hopefully we'll have some better luck in future runs. And I just thought I would talk a little bit. Oh, sorry, I've also got the 5 pence coin over here. I think I said this coin was from Europe in an earlier clip. I'm sure if I've got any Brits watching, they're probably shaking their fists at me for that one. But anyway, yeah, of course that's from United Kingdom or Great Britain. And I just thought I'd show over here. So this is the print run, so you can see the 10 cents there, and you can see those lower print runs as you get 1991, 92, and there is 1970, that 5 million mintage run there as well. So, yeah, they're a little bit rare and definitely worth looking for if you can find them in your change. Thought I would address too, I made a comment earlier, probably gave away my age. Yeah, my eyesight is starting to go, and in those first early videos I was, or first early clips, I was trying to do it without my reading glasses, and I did actually pull out, I'll just show you here, I had to throw these reading glasses on, and it makes a world of difference. Getting old, eyesight's starting to go a bit, and those tiny little numbers on these dimes are a hard one for me to see. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found some of that interesting, certainly on what coins to look for in terms of the lower mint runs. And hopefully we can find some silver in some future videos. So look forward to coin roll hunting with you in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and you guys all have a great day.